let's see what that does. There we go. We are active, so I will bring the camera up. And there we are. So, excuse me. I haven't got any water, so if I disappear, I've got to get a glass of water. So, yeah, it's rare that I live stream on a Monday, let alone at this time of the day, nearly 5 o'clock. I said I was going to go from 5 o'clock. I've started a bit earlier, but that's fine. We'll go from there. Anyway, so I thought I would build the next part of my models, my inner circle companions. I will reduce. If I'm looking to the left, it's because I'm looking at my Streamlabs. I've got another screen in front of me for anyone who's new. Anyway, so I will probably reduce the screen so we can have a look at a few things online. But this is what I built Friday. My Lionel Johnson model. So he's yet to be painted, but I'm not going to undercoat him until I undercoat all 6 of these. I've got two boxes to build, so I can build different versions. So without further ado, I am going to get my craft knife, and of course, as always, please interact with the chat and anything like that, so that we can all be sort of talking and things, because this isn't much your stream as it is mine. I like to interact with you all. But it gives me something to do whilst I'm talking, so it helps me focus. Doing something like this really does help me focus. So this one comes with their 30mm bases. So these have slightly larger bases than standard Space Marines, which I think have Dark Angel transfers. I don't know if I'll use these, but I might find use for them. Interesting that they've got Guardians of the Covenant and Angels of Redemption, but they don't have. They seem to be missing other successor chapters, which is interesting. Never mind. I won't worry about them until nearer the. Rose, hello, everyone gets one of these when they join the chat. Lovely to hear from you. Thank you for joining me. I will tell you now, I have started work on that script for you, so keep watch for that. It will be with you soon. Now I'm going to try and figure out 1, 2 and 3. There's 1. So Hexana, hello. I'll give you one as those as well, because everyone gets one as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, this chat is just shall we say a safe haven for today. I don't normally stream on a Monday, but I wanted a place for people to feel like they could escape and find somewhere that is a bit more considerate, shall we say, than current events. So I'm thinking of others more than anything. But please do interact. It's important that we stick together and share and let me know if the music is too quiet, because obviously the music helps when I'm not saying anything and I'm actually doing something. So it's as much there for you as it is for me to. So there's no silence. I brought it up a bit because this is quite a quiet track anyway. So I should have shown you, these are the sprues. I've already cut off a few pieces for my Space Marines. Yeah, I know that feeling. I've been doing very much the same recently. It's been a boon. Try and make sure I get this the right way round now. Yeah, that's right. I see it. So a bit of glue. Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been escaping quite a bit as well with creativity, and I'll take you through some of what I've been doing in recent weeks, because the world I've been building has really grown, and I'm incredibly surprised how much it's grown really with what I've been working through. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I want, number 5. I see. So vibing is absolutely fine. I'm building, people are drawing, whatever you want to do. Everyone is welcome. 16. It's 12. And 16. 16, there we go. Never played Splatoon. Never played Splatoon at all, I have to admit, but I've heard it's entertaining, so I will give it a go at some point. That sounds interesting. Lineless style. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. 15. 15. Yeah, that's 15. See, this is what I like about this community. We talk and we share. I've missed some parts. I'm prone to doing that. So yeah, that's how me and Rose actually sort of got talking. We're both ASMR content creators, and you know, we've collaborated on a couple of projects, and it's always a joy to collaborate with Rose, I have to say. If you're not subscribed to her channel, I suggest you go and subscribe, because you know, there's a lot that's absolutely fine. You know, as much art as you like. You know, don't feel that you do there's no such thing as too much art. I honestly believe that. I really do. You know, I think if anyone says someone's making too much art, I think that is not up to them. That is not up to them to decide. You know, it's perfectly where does that... Let's see where it goes. Now we're getting someplace. You're not the only one with a lot of interests, Hexana. You should see my list of interests. You know, it's quite varied, as Rose will tell you. And I mean, obviously, if you follow me on social media, you'll see my list of varied interests. You know, it's this model making is just one of them. This is art in itself, really, because sort of building and painting. Yeah, I've been trying to find the mod that allows Sims 4 to be played as a multiplayer mode, but I've found something, but I can't get it to work. Otherwise I'd try and work out how to host a multiplayer game. Apparently it is there. Someone has done it, but it's finding it that's the problem. So hopefully I'll be able to get the mod working, and I can host a game or two. Oh, I played Tower Defence. That's quite an interesting one. It can get quite fast. That's beginning to look more the part. So there we go. That's it taking shape. I haven't actually done it to the base yet because something tells me, it says to glue it to the base, but something just told me in my head not to. So I didn't. So yeah, exactly. I mean, I do get into fandoms. I'm big on the fandom of Fallout, the Fallout franchise, but 9 times out of 10, I just play a game because I enjoy it. I don't think you should judge. I don't think anyone should be judged on the games they play or why they play them, because it's what you enjoy. I think that's Yeah, yeah, I agree with Rose there. So slow get. Oh, I see how that fits in. Oh, I see how that slots in. Yeah, I see how that slots in. Then that's the head I want. I always do my Space Marine models helmeted because I think it's easier to paint for me. Come to paint them. Oh, I remember you telling me that, Rose. Yeah. Don't think it's a good thing. It's not a good thing when a phone overheats. So there's one ready to go. Just move that out of the way. If I do disappear, it's because I have to get a glass of water, but I will put it to be right back. If I missed anything, I think I have, yes. No, I don't feel like I have actually. No, I'm going to leave him as it is. Yeah, well, these are Dark Angel Space Marines, so they're very zealous in the eyes of the Emperor. You know, they are the First Legion, and the model I built the other day was their Primarch, Lionel Johnson. They were known as the First Legion before the times of the Horus Heresy, and they have a very knightly look about them. That's what appeals to me about them. They look like space knights. They're like what Space Marines should be like to me. Proper space knights. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're in the other part of the world, whilst I'm in the northern hemisphere. I keep forgetting that because obviously it's winter for me, and summer for you. Got to find 27. It's 27. Yeah, I'll tell you something. The the models that they came from, um, what they were originally like. I can show you where they've evolved from, because my computer's going funny. My computer's going funny. Sorry, itchy nose. I'm just trying to find something to show. Might not have worked. No, I don't think it. No, I don't think it has worked. Well, I can show you these, because these are sort of pictures I collected from early days of Games Workshop. So let me resize my. Oh, there's my chat. There's my chat window. It does work. Screen capture. So if I move that down, and if we go to preview. So this is what some of the older models looked like here. If I make it a bit bigger, you can see how different they look in design. Very, very different to. Let's see if I can find a better picture. There we go. That's kind of what they looked like originally, the models, and you can see how the details have improved. These are all from sort of around 1993, so we're talking about over 30 years ago. So, and that's more of a 1998 model. So this one here is more 1998. These aren't any of my own models, of course. These are all just pictures I've collected from and that one's going back to the 1980s, that one. But yeah, they have lots of different models and monsters and creatures. Because this one, Thousand Suns, has just been updated. They just had a big range refresh. And that's an earlier one from the 1980s as well. So they've just had a huge range refresh. So it's been interesting to see. See, there's a Dark Angel there that's fallen to chaos. But you can see how it's evolved, how it's changed over the years. Yeah, exactly. But I've been working on some Imperial Guard stuff. Just put my screen back to full scale. So yeah, you know, I mean, actually, if I keep this down, I can actually. Why's my screen capture looking? something a bit funny there. But this is what they look like now. I can show you a picture of what they should, of what these things will look like once they're painted. So, where is he? This model here, without the helmet, is this model here with the helmet. That's what he will look like, hopefully, once I've painted him. That's the version of the model I chose to go with. So that's basically what he looks like. So they were very blingy in the 80s. I mean, there's a lot of you know, really good stuff that sort of vanished. I don't know if they've still got. Just scroll. Ah, there we go. Inner Circle Companions, and this is what I'm building at the moment. So this is this one here. That's what I've just built. This first one here, and then I'm going to build. I'm going to build them all differently. So I'm going to build the first three like this that you can see on the screen, and then I'm going to build the other three through the other options so that there's a bit of variety and they all look individual. So I'm looking forward to trying my hand at free painting or using the transfers. Fortunately, the Dark Angels chapter badge is, I don't know if you can see that, it is 3D printed onto the plastic. Games Workshop don't do 3D printing, they do injection moulding. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going for, those pieces first of all. So, and they're all going to have helmets. I'm not going to do faces. I find it very difficult to paint faces on miniatures. So they're all going to be wearing helmets because they're much easier to paint and repair if you make a mistake. Yeah, so that's my Dark Angels. But if you want later, I can take you through some of my fantasy world as well, because I've got plenty of resource materials I'm happy to share. Excited to share even. I mean, if I don't get all of these built today, that's no worry. I mean, even if I only get the first 3 built, that's a start for me. That is a start for me. So, but yeah, you know, he says nearly dropping his clippers. You know, I've been working on this this idea for a while that I've been wanting to do, because my cousin was asking me, does that mean you're starting a Dark Angels army? No, I've got an Imperial Guard army to finish before I ever consider the possibility of trying something else. This is just a display piece. This is just for me to say I've got the lion and I've got, you know, the complementing unit that goes with it, the Inner Circle Companion. There it is. The Inner Circle Companions. So it, you know, it does make a difference to make, you know, just having him and then having his full complement of 6 companions does make it much more interesting to look at and talk about. So oh, Mini keyboard. I remember the mini keyboards. I honestly do remember the mini keyboards. Mind you, I do a lot of my messaging via my laptop, to be honest, apart from text messaging, because it's easier for me to type on a full size keyboard than it is on a mobile keyboard. I do struggle with a mobile keyboard, especially auto text. I've got a Galaxy AS, I think it's a Galaxy A14, something like that, if that makes sense. I think that's what it is. It's not, it's not a high level Galaxy. It does exactly what I want it to do. Well, this is the thing about the hobby. It doesn't really matter how you're involved. It's the fact that you find enjoyment in it. That's what's most important about it. It's getting involved and meeting new people. Really, it's a social thing, and I've found it socially beneficial. Well, the current rule set of the current edition of the game that I play, Warhammer 40,000, has been very highly criticised by the fans, I will admit. Basically, it's been written with tournament gaming in mind and not sort of genuine gameplay in mind, just friendly gameplay in mind. It's become a little too much, shall we say. Right, I see how it's supposed to go. Yeah, I see how it's supposed to go. Which way we're going? Right, okay. So Same as me. I live well. I don't live in America. I live in Great Britain. Um, but yeah, same. There we go. So there's another one. But well, as I say, everyone who joins this stream is welcome. You know, no one is. Just like that. Oh dear, 30 degrees C plus, that's heat. Well, too much for me. Far too much for me. I wouldn't survive in that heat. Yeah, I mean, most that we get in the summer here in Britain is about, what, 25, 26? I end up suffering in the heat. Sorry, just clipping. Indeed, indeed. I've got a few online friends from Australia on varying platforms, so there we go, 34. But, yeah, so yeah, so how what shall I say next? Um, Obviously, once during these streams, I do mention my project. I honestly do, because I just believe in it so much. You know, I've been passionate about it. I mean, Rose, I'm sure you would vouch for, you know, but I'm very keen to get people involved, and if people want to be involved, they know how to contact me. Yeah. Pads did I take off? Looks like I took off the right shoulder pads anyway. Yes. So that is 40. You know, yeah, well, if you follow me on, sorry, I've just dropped something that I need. If you follow me on social media, you will see me talking about it. I beg your pardon. You will see me talking about it quite a bit, because I am looking for people to take part, but it's finding the participants that's proving. But I'll get there. I believe I will. You know, it's just being in the right place at the right time, really, making sure. You know, it's. You know, I can understand that some of the concepts are not everyone's cup of tea. I cater to that. You know, I do make sure everyone gets an opportunity and a say. You know, I don't just leave them. Well, I will admit, you know, fantasy adventure is a niche topic. You know, I don't deny that at all. You know, and it's not like I force anyone to take part. You know, it's an open door policy, meaning that anyone who wants to be involved can be involved. So it allows flexibility, and it's just, you know, it's not like I'm gonna leap into people's inboxes and suddenly say you're being part of this, because that's not how I do things. It is all done fully through open invite, and that's how I believe it should be done. You know, with all respect and well, this is it. We are very unique, and sometimes I think there is a bit of complexity there, but you know, I believe in what we do and what we create. It's right on. Yeah, I mean, the concept that I have, you know, Lord of War and Heart 8, the caravan, that sort of thing, is undeniably niche. Oh, I appreciate. Oh, thank you, Hex. I appreciate that. You know, that really does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, I just, you know, I'm just, I try not to. I try not to be someone I'm not. You know, I honestly believe that you can't be. I don't know how that attaches. It says dropping the banner. Oh, I think I'm supposed to attach it to the arm. Which way around does it go though? Well, you'll always find something to learn about here, you know, and I think it's important to, you know, express just trying to work out which way this. Ah! Figured it out. Figured it out. There we go. I've found the slot that the arm goes in, so we'll just let that settle for a bit. I won't glue that on just yet because I don't want to. Yeah, that's fine. But you know, Rose is absolutely correct. My ideas are very, very niche. Same here, you know. I think I've sort of lost contact with a lot of the bigger creators. I don't think that's anyone's fault really. I think because I've gone my own way and found my own sort of style and ideas, it gets a bit complicated, you know. I'm a very imaginative individual, original, shall we say. I like to be original. I'm not one to blend in with the crowd, shall we say. And that's not actually a bad thing at all. It's just that, you know, I don't follow the same sort of circles that many of the bigger content creators, you know, in the community do. You know, it's just that I've found my own path. You know, I found my own way. And put it this way: if I hadn't found my own path over the last 4 years, I'd have never got my novel written. It's unpublished, but I have written a novel, and that's. That's something I always wanted to do, Thing is, I was sort of told to do it early on in my. Well, I sometimes think that being bigger, it's all right being sort of a big channel, but at the end of the day, I actually believe that it makes it harder to interact with the people that matter. You know, the people you really create a rapport with. You know, because in the end, the chat screen can start whizzing by, and you can't read what people are saying. You know, you can't see what everyone's saying, and that, I don't know. I don't know if I want that really, because I like to interact with people. I really do, and I think it wouldn't be fair on. Well, me too. Unless I really get to know people, I am. Many people would say I'm shy or awkward. It's anxiety. It's not shyness. It's not awkwardness. It is pure anxiety, because I'm worried about what people might make of me. You know, because the world puts expectations on people, and I personally think that's not good. I think that's wrong, that the world imposes such expectations on people. You know, I mean, I know that I'm never going to be as big as Jeannie. I mean, she's got 2.5 million subscribers. I'm never going to be as big as. Well, I also understand your point there, but sometimes I only get one person in the chat sometimes, and it's random, you know, because of the times I tend to. But I always make sure I interact. That's the important thing. I always make sure I communicate, I talk, because it keeps everything going. And I feel that is the important thing. Yeah, I mean, she's been going for well over a decade. I have to admit, much longer than even Shani, you know. But because I actually tried some ASMR back in 2006. I was actually I only did it once, and I was actually called out as being creepy, and I didn't like that, so I didn't sort of start doing anything until 2020. Yeah, I use well, of course we follow each other on Blue Sky Hexane, of course, but of course I'm a Twitter refugee, because I left before all the problems really started. So there's the second one. There's the second one with his banner. Yeah, absolutely, Rose. just let me just give you a little. Oh, what the large thing? No, it's the banner. It's the banner. It's going to be fun to paint because I'm going to do them all with a black undercoat, so any sort of marks that shouldn't be there won't show up. It'll all be tidied up. But let me take you on a whistle-stop tour of everything that I've been doing. Just cut this out. So I don't just write scripts or voice act or do video recording as well. I also do my own creation of visuals as well. Just let it all load up. So we're now in my folder, Lord of War and Heartache, and there's a lot of things here that I've been working on, scripts, videos, little things like that, but this is where it sort of gets interesting, because I've been world building sort of a lot of things recently. So if I go to locations and if we go to extra large icons, so I've been sort of world building with cities and things like that. Yeah, I think scripts have to be a bit more, but you know, I'm always happy to write you a script, you know. You know, I'm more than happy to write you a script, and I have got that one on its way to you soon, so that will be written in time. But yeah, I've been working on some new locations. So we've got anonymous towns and cities, but then we've got cities like Blackholm, and these are all my own. These are all my own pieces. I kind of create them. That one shouldn't be in there. That's an archive piece, but I'll work around that. But that's Blackholm. That's one of my unseen cities in the story. We haven't visited Blackholm yet. There's quite a few. Of course, we've got Bloodspire, which we haven't visited yet, but it does feature in my novel. Bloodspire does feature in my novel. Thank you. There's quite a few of these pictures because I've sort of, I mean, this is 4 years of, I mean, this is all the central part of Bloodspire. I can't say it. Bloodspire. And then of course there's more sort of digital, realistic imagery as well, that I've created as well over the last 4 years to give it a much more. So if we ever use it for live action, we've got some realistic backdrops to use as well. then we got the demonic palace, and then we scroll down. There's a lot of, I mean, we've got ruined taverns as well. I do everything in bulk. Put it this way: when I create something, I create over time. I build up a collection of images because I want to create unique images for the story. I mean, Cold Harbour is a place we haven't visited yet, and some of them use real locations which I've just edited and tidied up and, you know, taken out some of the modernity, but others are sort of, for Caldavia again, a lot of these are my own creation, so it all fits in with the world, and each city has city watch houses. They all look big, but really they're actually quite small. So there's multiple watch houses throughout the city, but they might also be like an area of the city anyway. So what you're seeing here might actually all be part of one watch house, but just different angles and aspects of the same building. Then Drakenberg is the city of dragons from the Firelands. Drevin is the city of vampires, also known as Necrotia. And I was very, very careful when creating these, because I wanted them to look quite dark and foreboding. That's the digital external creation of the city walls of Necrotia. So I kind of took sort of historical photos and worked from there. You know, places I've been on holiday to, and in and around England and Wales, and kind of built up the images from that. Some of them are from my own imagination, and some of them are sort of we'll go to Garalos next. I need to rename them because I've called them Garalock for some reason when it's Garalos. So Garalos is more of a sort of yeah. I've done a lot of work on these. You know, I've done a lot of work, and let's see what small icons just go small, because I want to check what I've missed. So we've got Blackholm, and as I say, this is 4 years of creative work. It's not just overnight creativity. This is world building at its oh yeah, Isara, Cully is a significant location that I've sort of built up on, as you can see. I'm sort of just going through random. Cully is one of the principal towns in the desert realm. But yeah, you know, they're all there. They're all there. And we've got 3 regions in the story: the forest realm, the desert realm, and the central realm, which is the monarchy. Well, that's the thing, you know. We all do it. Yeah, I've got a 4 terabyte external hard drive plus a 4 terabyte laptop. But most of this I store onto the hard drive. But I mean the characters as well. we've got a whole range of characters as well. These are the ones you'll see mostly used in the videos because they're transparent, which means they've got no background, which means they're easier to work with. So we've got sort of nobles, Avalon, Catalina, who's never actually appeared in the story. You'll learn more about these creatures, the devil wasps, if I ever publish my novel. They play a role in my novel, as does Catalina. Grace, the first ever female character I ever voiced in the Caravan. Some of these are also voiced by other people, and again, they're all digitally created. So they're all individually created. These characters haven't been seen. Obviously, that is actually based on me. That is actually based on a photograph of me, and I just enhanced it to how I wanted it to look for the project. That's the green screen. And of course, Paldrock, Pandora, who Rose kindly voiced in the Caravan project, Rafik, who I voice, and there's a whole host of other sort of unnamed. Oh, Cleo is voiced by my good friend Gwyn, who voices Cleo whilst I voice Trajan. But we haven't really done much with Cleo and Trajan lately. I must get in touch with her about excuse me. I must get in touch with her about that. But there's a fair range of characters here, all the way down to and of course there's Geoffrey of Trigon, who I voice. Geoffrey of Trigon, Garen, who I voice. There's a lot of characters here that I voice myself, I should say. And then of course there's the vampire. That's the original version that the photo I've just shown you of Maximus is based upon. That's actually me. So this is actually me in the original outfit, which I do own. This is my steampunk outfit, but I edited it to the version that you saw at the top there. And then at the bottom we've got more vampire warriors and members of the Vampire Council. So they're all there. And then obviously we've got associates of Maximus, and again multiple images, because then that way I've got multiple angles and images of characters that I can use. As I say, I don't do, and also different hairstyles and makeup looks and things, so that I've got different, I can sort of use different. She's in the wrong folder, never mind. I can move her later. Then we've got again, these have all got backgrounds, so I would remove the backgrounds before I use them. These are sort of, I would say, I've called them barbarians, but I'd say they're sort of my equivalent of Amazons in my world. So they're more connected to the lost city of Phaedra in my world. Then we've got bounty hunters, have a very different look about them. We've got the Calvari. You can see how much world building. Oh, Rose voices more than just Pandora. I mean, she's Jane, she's Iris, she's Rosea, she's Justina. Who else have you voiced for this project? You've done quite a few voices. Then we've got the people of Draconis, and I mean, there's so many different characters. I mean, I try and because I've got some different images of Pandora somewhere that weren't used here. So this is what Rose's character Pandora could have looked like. But it was that one I went with. It was that one I chose. Oh, yes, there was, and I can't remember who they were. Yes. Because you voiced a character or two for the Justina for the Blood Harvest Ball. And oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. You did voice more characters than that. It's just that at the moment I've forgotten who they were. I'll be honest. I have forgotten who they were. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it didn't start out like that. It started out as a one-off, but I got to enjoying it so much that I started to write, just start writing and involving. That's right, I do. Yes, I can't remember the name of the character though. That's the thing. Well, that's a start. You know, 2 or 3 text documents. It can. The thing is, it can either sort of it's complicated, really, isn't it? I put my booklet. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, it does become a rabbit hole. It becomes like it becomes a whole concept that no matter what you try and do, you can't. Oh, I like that. World building. Sentient machines. Well, I do encourage you to, you know, revisit it at least, because sometimes after not being there for so long, I mean, that's the thing. I'm always thinking of ideas and concepts to work with, you know. As, Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, as Rose said earlier, my idea is very, very niche. It's unique to say the least. I think sometimes that's a good idea. That is a good idea. I like that. I like that thought. Then you can also run with it and sort of. Sorry, just trying to. But yeah, so what's going on there? So, you know, that's a good idea about, you know, world building by creating an idea for a game that allows you to think about it in a constructive and sort of. I like that. I like that, Rose. That's a good way of doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's like with my story, really, isn't it? Because, as you know, it's trying to find the right balance of you know, keeping it right, shall we say, and sorry, just thinking. I'm just thinking. Yeah, that's kind of the same sort of. Yeah, I know what you mean. Unfortunately, history has a lot to say, sort of, in that regards, I'm afraid, sadly. I think that's very what's the word I'm thinking of? Diplomatic. I think that's very diplomatic. Yes. Just trying to find numbers. 64. There we go. Yeah, I think, yeah, you're going the right way about it. I think so. Hang on, hang on. Ah, there we go. I get it. I get it. Oh, I think that's a good way of approaching it. I think that's a very good way of approaching it. So I'm just trying to find something. Ah, that's it. That's it. I've found what I'm looking for. Makes sense now. Now it makes sense. once I get this done, I'll call building it a day, but we'll still chat. We'll still sit and chat because I want to. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea that you took Reiki as a inspiration for that. Absolutely. No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. You focus on whatever you want to focus on. There we go. There's the third one. There we go, there's the third one, all fully built, ready to go. He's going to be interesting to paint because a lot of his armour is concealed by the sword, especially his helmet, so that's going to be very interesting to paint. But I'm just going to let them settle. As I say, I'm not going to end the stream. I'm not going to end the stream. Let's keep going. Excuse me. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so as you know, I've been very busy for quite a while over the last 4 years, and I don't know why I get so nervous talking about it. You know, I think it's because it's just something I'm so. It's like it's. You know, I don't know why I get so sort of buzzed about talking about it when it's something I'm just very happy with. You know, it's something I take a lot of pride in because of the amount of there we go. My keyboard collapsed, so I'll just put it back up. Yeah, do you find that if you find something you really sort of, as soon as you try to start talking about it, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. You know, I it just, I don't know. It's, as you said earlier, it's very niche. It's a very niche concept. But I honestly believe in it. You know, I do genuinely believe in it, and I think you know, it's even now my brain is telling me to, as I'm trying to talk, it's sort of freezing like a computer. It wants to crash. It's like it's trying to prevent me from thinking about anything like that, See, I'm repeating that phrase, which irritates me when I do that, because yeah, exactly. And it's like my brain is trying to rush at 1,500 miles an hour, ahead of my if I'm not careful, I'm going to make myself laugh, and I haven't done that. Well, last time I did that on live stream was Friday. I have this ability where I just make myself laugh out of nowhere. Yeah, it's bizarre, really bizarre. I think that's the thing with having an autistic brain. You just sort of wing it. Yeah, I think that's why it's why I have characters like Maximus and everything. I can work my sort of energies and sort of frustrations into that character and run with it, work with it. But yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the same with Maximus. He's based on me as well, so he's sort of where I channel all my sort of, I won't say negative energy, but it is kind of negative energy, but in a constructive and original way. It helps build his character, really. He's an anti-hero. He's not a villain. He's an anti-hero more than anything now. With an agenda. That's how I look at it. He kind of started out as a villain, but I think he's so much more complex than that. So much more complex. I think, yeah. See, this is why I have the music playing in the background, so that if there is long pauses, it's not an awkward silence, there is still something. No, we don't, but I think that's what I enjoy about it, the fact that I always find somehow a way of making Maximus angry, and it's isn't it weird when you suddenly sort of start talking about things and your mind just goes off on a tangent and you don't know where you're going, You don't know what direction you're going in, and you don't know where you're going to end up. It's like anything goes. And no, exactly. We can't grow without challenges. I think that's what makes it so interesting. And I do kind of think that I've set myself a big challenge by trying to get this idea of mine off the ground and working. It's just I think the challenge is just finding the right people who want to take part, really. It's finding the right people who want to be involved, you know, who want to be sort of in that line of content. I mean, I've opened it out to other content creators from, you know, ASM artists are still welcome, but there's also obviously voice actors and other people that can be involved, and I want that option to be there. That's how I want it to be. I'm very flexible on that, and that's very important to me. You know, being able to be accessible and accommodating. You know, comfort and safety has always been my watchwords whenever I host a collaboration. And I've never had any sort of negative feedback. It's just that sometimes I don't get any feedback at all from the community, the wider community. I mean, obviously I've got my, you know, the regulars like yourself, Rose, who I'm very grateful to, genuinely. But sometimes you call out for feedback from the wider community, and all you get is silence. And I don't know, I mean, it's difficult. It's really difficult because you can't always communicate with everyone all the time. It just makes it complicated. Yeah, I really don't know, to be honest. It's sorry, I'm rambling. I am rambling now. That's never a. It certainly can. And you know, there's a number of times I've felt like I've honestly wondered if I've ever been blacklisted, you know, or cancelled or something like that. And I know that's not true. But it's just the feeling I get. And when you're someone like me, who thrives off interaction and, you know, thrives off interaction and sharing an idea with others, it makes it so much harder. You know, I just wish. I mean, I'm not one of these people that go, look at me, I'm here. Oh, unfortunately, I've got to head off because I've just been called. I think it's dinner, but I'll be right back. So, where was I? Yeah, that's it really. You know, I'm not in the mainstream. Sorry, I'm just eating some pasta. I don't really. You know, It's. But I've never considered myself mainstream. I honestly haven't. Because I don't do traditional triggers. I don't do. Yeah, I don't do traditional triggers in the sort of common sense. I'm a very unique idealist. You know, I have very unique ideas. Could this be classed as a mukbang? I don't know, but anyway. Yes, she is. Yeah, there was a big thing about that. The situation got quite out of hand, really. Very out of hand. But that's all I'm going to say on that, because I wasn't directly involved, thankfully, but I saw the fallout. And I think that's where it all sort of. I think that's where the change in the ASMR community began. Really, I think it's had its ups and downs. It's had its fair share of drama, and yeah, it was very strange times, shall we say. I think it was very. It was a very unusual situation to be in the middle of as a content creator. Because I think a lot of silence went there. Yeah. And I think that's what's happened. The cliques formed. And okay, Hexana, thank you for joining. Lovely to have you here. Lovely to have you in the chat. You're always welcome to join. I'm not going anywhere for a while, so I'm gonna. I was a viewer as well at the time. I'm not going anywhere for a while. I'm just sort of sitting here chatting and enjoying my dinner. Yeah, it was. And I think that's where a lot of the sort of changes in the community started to, you know, people started to bye for now, Hexana. But you know, seriously, I think it's made people very wary of collaborating with people that they don't really know. Which I do think is a bit unfortunate, because I do believe that everyone should have an opportunity to try something different or try something new. And I don't think yes, yeah, I've noticed that some fans of some places are rather protective, shall we say. I'm not going to go into details there, but I've had some interesting situations, but I don't want to go down that route because that could open up a can of worms I don't want to open. So I'm leaving it at that point. But I mean, when I first started writing, started doing my content, I was actually told by a number of content creators, oh, you shouldn't do this, just turn it into a novel. Well, back then I had no idea of the direction the story was going to go. I had no idea who the characters were going to be. I had no idea of the locations. And just before Christmas I finished writing that novel. You know, it's now got, because it's taken me 4 years to build a world, a history, the characters, everything like that. I've finally been able to do what they suggested back in the day, but I got the impression they didn't want me becoming a content creator. I don't know if it's because they thought I was going to tread on their toes, or but there we go. I do what I do because I enjoy it. You know, I don't do it for clicks, or you know, I'm not monetized, and I don't do it for clicks or anything like that. I do it because it's what I love doing. It's what, it's me. It gives me purpose. It allows me to bring my dreams to life. Let's put it that way. It allows me to bring my dreams to life. Which is very important to me. You know, it's, and you know, if people don't want to be involved, then that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to force people to, excuse me, I'm not going to force people into joining anything. That's why I make it an open door policy. Yeah, I mean, how many videos have I got now? I've got 586 public videos, and even I can't, you know, even I can't fully figure out who which one is most popular, but this year I'm looking to adapt and evolve. And, I wouldn't say go mainstream, but obviously doing a lot more lives. Because well, when you look at the excuse me, when you look at the release dates of my content, there are actually big gaps. Because the last sort of big video I released was before Christmas, which was the Tales of the Caravan episode 1 chapters 1 to 8. That was a month ago. Maximus Wrap was 3 weeks ago. That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair. You know, you do what you feel you want to do. Don't let other people dictate what you should do. And you know, it's your channel, it's your content. You be you. If you've got an idea that you want to share with others, share it with them. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. That's absolutely fair. I mean, that's why for me, I have the not that I covered it this year, but if I do anything sort of seasonal related, I have what I call the Winter Ember Festival, which is a very different idea that's set in my world. You know, I build around that sort of time of year, but I created my own sort of, that's how I work with it. I mean, it's everyone is different. Everyone is different. You know, it's yeah, it's pretty much how you want to approach it that's important. You know, it's, as I said, it's your channel, it's your content. You do you. You know. And that's the important thing. As long as you enjoy what you're making and you know your sort of subscribers enjoy what you create for them, that's what matters most. And I think that's very important. Just thinking if there's anything else I can add to that, really. But yeah, you know, I've learned that through sort of creating content for my channel, and as I say, I'm branching out because I've chosen to branch out this year. But I'm still going to stick to my original concept because I just love it too much, and I mean, as I said, I think it's more complex because you have to think about the character, the sort of situation they're in. I think because mine is, I think in a way, by making mine story driven, it has given me some basis to work from. by having a central story and having a central character or characters, it has allowed me to work my way out. Exactly, you've got your fan fiction as well. That does, yeah. So it sort of, it does add to it all. But I'll be honest, I really do enjoy what you create. I really do. I think you're one of the most original, imaginative creators out there. You and Miss Chic ASMR. You know, you were both very creative and original. I'm trying to think if there's any other words I could. I'd have to find the thesaurus, to be honest. But you know, you and her are both. The fact that you collaborated on that K-pop video is. Yeah, she's moved away from the Whispering Wind stories. I have noticed that myself. So I don't know if there's been a change there, because obviously she started out with the Whisper Wind series, and no, I tend not to follow the trends, because I will have the trends included in my story if they're character related, but you won't find Maximus doing finger flutters or you know, hand movements, or sort of. You certainly wouldn't get him licking. You certainly wouldn't get him doing that. He's just not that kind of person. Oh no, he's not that kind of person. I love doing Maximus's voice. It's so. I mean, obviously when I record it, I lower the pitch, but you know, it's that rich sort of Bristolian. Oh, she was. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I found your channel after you'd created it, but I've always been with you since sort of the beginning. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was one of the earliest people I collaborated with. It was her, Raina, Yoloma. I'll have to go back through with who I collaborated with, because there is one other from the Mushroom Theatre Company, as they call themselves, and I can't remember her name now. I follow her on Facebook actually, but she doesn't use her ASMR name. She uses a different name. But it was her, Yoloma, Raina, Tamrin, Black Cat Aura. Who else was there? Julie ASMR, when she was Sleeping Artist ASMR. Obviously she's now Julie ASMR. Who else? I collaborated with Atlas ASMR appeared once as a voice character. She has gone over to French these days, or Belgian or French, which is fine. I you know, if that's what she's comfortable creating, then that's absolutely fine. You know, it's that's okay. Who else have I collaborated with? There was Irma La Dolce later on. There's a couple who don't create anymore. One or two of them has just vanished from the face of the earth, you know. I'll have to go back through my list. Yeah, it's strange. There's been a lot of ASM artists who've just sort of suddenly disappeared from social media. I mean, only a few weeks ago, Miss T ASMR just vanished. Her channel's gone, her Instagram's gone, everything she had is gone. You know, it's a mystery. I mean, I wish her well, but I don't. But it's sort of because a long time ago she performed the role of Shy, and of course I wanted to get her permission to use the footage in my current project, but I'm going to have to find someone else to play the character because I can't use the footage because I can't get permission to use it, even though it was made for my project. And you know that makes things difficult, but I can work with it. I can write an entirely new. Yeah, I think she did. Yeah, I think that would be it. Absolutely. It can be difficult for some people, I imagine. But you know, I will endeavour to bring the character to life in other ways. So we'll see what happens. But regardless of that, I wish her well. You know, and I'm sure she's doing absolutely fine. You know, and indeed, you know, there's just so much. Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on it because it just adds to you know, anxiety and things like that, and I don't need that. I've got to keep moving forward. I've got to keep thinking. I've got to keep sharing. I've got to keep, I don't know, believing. If I don't believe in this, you know, if one person at least believes in something, it's me. Because if I don't have excuse me. Yeah, I miss Heather Feather. I do miss Heather Feather. I miss Whisper Crystal as well. I mean, she vanished without a trace, as did Whispering in Blue. And there were several that just vanished. You know, Veni Vidi Volpez disappeared. Was it Sweet Seductive Whispers? I think that was her channel name, Sweet Seductive Whispers, who just vanished. Dolly Whispers vanished. It's strange, all these early content creators that I used to watch, and now I can't remember certain names or channels, and yet I used to watch them literally every single day. You know, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre, because the number of channels I used to watch and have just vanished, and I've forgotten them, just goes to show, in a way, how much of an impact the community has. But at the same time, once they're gone, where's their legacy? You know, that's the thing. It just, and that's why I don't want to stop. That's why I don't want to stop, because it's not about, I don't know, it's difficult. It really is difficult, because they did. I do remember that. Yeah, that was something. But you know, it's I just wonder if I fear being forgotten. I wonder if that's what it is. You know, a fear of just being forgotten. You know, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. You know, what mark, when you think to yourself, what mark have I left on the community? What will I be remembered for? I know that's something you shouldn't think or feel, but at the same time, I do find myself asking myself, if I suddenly ceased creating, would people miss me? And I genuinely do ask this question to myself. It's like I sometimes wonder if people miss me over on Twitter, not being there anymore. Now I'm on Blue Sky, because there's very few content creators on Blue Sky from our community. If they are, they're exactly. It is weird digitally, because you know what we leave behind is what we create, and it's unique. Because even if we do content like everyone else, it's our content. It's our creation. It's our mind at work. But I don't know. I honestly don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. You know, the autistic mind works in ways even I don't understand. And, you know, being autistic, you do sort of, I mean, as you know, I've got hyperfixations. I have hyperfixations, and it doesn't make life easier. It kind of makes life a bit harder. But I've tried to work it through as a constructive element, shall we say. You know, I've tried to be constructive with it, but at the same time, I think it's harsh to say it's a blessing and a curse. I think it's too harsh a term to use, but at the same time, it's the only sort of phrase I can think of that really makes any sense to me. yeah, and that's I think I did. I think I did. He is a part of me, and I think he is a projection of me more than anything. Um, Maximus is kind of the part of me I don't let out normally. He's the sort of side of me that I keep shrouded, shall we say, and he only comes out when I write for him and the voice acting. I don't think. I think if I hadn't created him, a lot of that energy would have remained pent up. He is my energy release, and I think I've done it in a healthy way because obviously I'm able to use that through him. I'm able to channel all that through him. I think that's it. I think we create these original characters because we, in the ordinary world, in the regular world, we find it very hard to project ourselves. We find it very difficult to what's the word? Well, I certainly mask. I mask a lot to the point that sometimes I'm exhausted. Even when I'm at home, I mask, and I spend a lot more time at home, to be honest. But you know, I go by what society thinks, and sometimes I do want to unmask and just be me, but I don't get that opportunity. But when I write my characters, when I voice them or perform them, they're all part of me. They're all the mask slipping away. No, it's not. It's not. I know that from experience. I've been judged a lot in the past. I mean, I've been through some real dark times, and if it weren't for ASMR during those dark times, seriously, I wonder if I would be here still talking. I mean, it was a long time ago, but yeah, same here. Those I feel really comfortable with. I unmask, especially my railway friends, my railway modelling enthusiast friends, because we all have the same passion, you know. We all enjoy railway modelling, and I can genuinely have a chat, have a laugh, be myself, and ironically, when I come online on YouTube, I am unmasked right now. I am honestly unmasked right now, because I feel safe. I feel safe. unmasking on here, talking to people. You know, I mean, as I say, you know, being a small channel helps, and having, you know, a good community. That's seriously true. There are very few that we can be ourselves with. You know, it takes, I mean, I agree. I totally agree. If we were both in the same country, yeah, I would definitely feel comfortable not being not masking in your presence, Rose. I honestly mean that. You know, but you know, as I say, I have got friends who I'm myself with, because but they are, I mean, my best friend I've known for over 17 years, so you know, I'm very comfortable about being myself around him. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there's a few other I don't know. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. Because even when I go out, I mean, they must notice it, because whenever I go and get coffee in one of my favourite coffee shops, I always sit in the same place, at the same angle, same table, same. I order the same thing every time. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You know, I do have my sort of routines or rituals, whatever you want to call them. It varies. But I don't know. Oh, we would definitely go to Ren fairs. Yeah. I've always wanted to go to a Ren fair. In fact, I was annoyed because I missed it, but there was one of Britain's first ever Ren fairs near me last year, around September time, and I don't know when it's going to be again this year, but I'd love to go. I'd probably go as Maximus. I'd probably go in my costume. I mean, what would you be? What would you be as a character? You know, I mean, we don't have to discuss that now. You can always message. You know where you can message me. We can always discuss that sort of thing. Sort of, because who knows? You know, one day we might end up meeting and going to a Ren fair. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, I do Comic Con. It's funny. I feel really comfortable being myself at a Comic Con. That is the strange thing. But I think there's other people who go there in costume and, you know, have similar interests and things, and you know, I've always felt good at being at Comic Con. Oh yes, Rose or Iris, I like that. Yes, one of the vampire twins. Rose or Iris and Maximus. That would work. That would be cool. That would be amazing. Yeah, definitely amazing. But yeah, because there's so much I kind of want to do this year. Mind you, there's a few big things. 2 of my friends are getting married this year, and I'm involved in one of the weddings, my best friend's wedding, in September. So directly involved, I should say. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm one of the groomsmen for the day. Gwyn, hello! I didn't realise that was you that said very few that we can be ourselves with, to be honest. I've just realised who it is. Oh, I'm so sorry, Gwyn. I just realised it was you. Oh, lovely to see you. Genuinely. I was so busy speaking with Rose that, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I just looked down the list and I just, oh, seriously, it's so good to see you. Oh, do you know, it's funny, I was talking earlier about Cleo and Trajan, and I actually said we hadn't revisited them for a while, and, you know, I seriously think Cleo and Trajan need to make a comeback, because you know, I think because I've done a soft reboot of the storyline, it's now Tales from the Caravan, and I think we could include Cleo and Trajan into that storyline. I definitely think so. Because I've sort of gone back to the beginning, but it's still the same world, still the same locations, still the same characters, but it's a whole refresh of how it looks, and I think we can definitely work with that for Cleo and Trajan, and yeah, as well, Rose. Yeah, I think Iris would definitely be a good character to go as to a Ren Fair. But there's just so much I want to do this year. There's so much I want to do, because I really want to. Yeah, it is, because I decided to take the story back to its roots, but from a different angle. There's a whole new video out that I released about a month ago, called Tales from the Caravan. It's still Lord of War and Heartache, but it's a new approach. They're sort of like standalone stories that all slot into other stories, rather than it being sort of episodic. It allows for, oh, absolutely, definitely a year of being seriously good to ourselves. Absolutely, because, you know, but yeah, I mean, I'm actually seeing. I can't really think why it's taken me this long to mention it, but I'm actually seeing a physiotherapist this Friday, because I've been having trouble with my right shoulder, and I really want to just get it checked out, because the pain I've been feeling in there has been quite horrible and quite uncomfortable, and so I've decided to actually get it checked out, because it's just so. Yeah, that's all part of me being good to myself, trying to look after myself better. Yeah, I think they will. I think they will probably get some exercises to do, but I need it to. I need it really. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, it's the shoulder I injured about 15 years ago, and it just started really burn. One day it started like a burn, and then it just, sometimes it radiates down my arm, but sometimes it radiates up into my neck, and my neck stiffens, but but then it goes up into my temples, and it's not a headache. That's the bizarre thing. It's not a headache, but it's all. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, and I'm hoping it's not arthritis. I don't think it is, but that's why I'm getting it checked out by a physiotherapist, because at least then they can point me in the right direction and give me the right guidelines that I need to sort of yeah, I think, yeah, it's. I have to say, I used to have problems with my feet, but ever since I changed from hiking boots to Skechers, this isn't a plug or anything, I'm just saying, I have the Skechers where you don't do them up or anything. You just slide your feet in, and my ankles have not become inflamed or burnt or anything like that. And even my mum said I'm walking better in these particular shoes in comparison to when I was wearing hiking boots, which makes a big difference. It really. I don't shuffle in these shoes. So it is, and I think the problem with hiking boots was they weren't providing the proper support. You know, they were all right, but yeah, absolutely. And these have the sort of memory foam insoles. So yeah, that's a problem that I have. My feet get bigger in the summer, which is why I moved over to Skechers, because they breathe. Whereas hiking boots, especially if they're leather, they don't breathe as well, and I think that's where a lot of my problems came from. It all just. But there was one time I had to actually wear an ankle support because I was in so much pain I could barely walk. I mean, I thought I'd broken my ankle, but fortunately I hadn't. Basically, it was just inflammation, and you know, it was awful. Yeah. And I try and avoid taking painkillers. I mean, it has to be something really, really bad for me to take a painkiller, or an anti-inflammatory. I try and avoid them if I can, because I don't want my body to become reliant on them. You know, and it just becomes, I think, you know, becoming reliant on something, unless it's, you know, because obviously I have my prescribed medication, which I guess I have become. Well, I think my shoulders from, as I say, when I dislocated it 15 years ago, but it's taken over 15 years for it to start giving me any trouble. So I don't know if it's been a long-term sort of situation. I mean, if it's arthritis, it could be sort of age related. I mean, I'm only 40, but at the same time, you know, the body does react in ways that, you know, at any age it can react. So it's nothing I'm not worried though. I'm not worried. I think I just want to get it checked out. I just want a few answers, a bit of guidance. Um, I want to be able to yeah, I mean everyone's body is different. I reckon. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be from something else. It could be. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Um, I'm glad I'm seeing a physiotherapist first because I didn't just want to go straight to see a GP because I thought see them first and then well, I asked. I basically said when I rang up my GP surgery, I said, you know, can I speak? Can I make an appointment to see anyone really about this shoulder? And they said, well, there's the physiotherapist. I said, well, that would be ideal. Um, so I opted to see the physiotherapist because if anyone knows anything about joints, muscles, it would be them, and I'd rather. Oh. What's my posture like? Well, I guess if I turn, you can see how I'm sitting. You can kind of see how I'm sitting in this chair. Sort of. That's. I don't know how well that showed up actually. Let me just take these off. I'm just looking at the screen so that I can. But this is how I sit in this chair. This is how I sit. So. Oh, that's okay. So that's pretty much what my posture is like. I don't really sit back because this chair also tilts back. I mean, if I sat back, I tilt back, as you can see. Whereas if I sit forward. Well, it's not the most comfortable position. My posture used to be really bad. I mean, really, really bad. When I was younger, I mean, that was before I was even known to be motor dyspraxic. You know, I've been. No, I understand that, Rose. It's everyone is different. Everyone is different. You know, we all. Yeah, I'm just trying to think how to say what I want to say without making it. It's gone. It's gone. But you know, I've thought of ways of trying to improve it, and, work with it, become more sort of. Better, shall we say? You know, sort of improve myself and become better at what I do, because I think Sorry, my gone blank. But yeah, so all that really. Life goes on. I mean, I've got a filling a week tomorrow. I've still got to ring the dentist about that actually. So oh, Volcom, Lord Volcom, Lord of the Vampires. Yeah, he actually appeared in the most recent video. The the new sort of reboot of the story. Video was uploaded a month ago. The other thing I'm doing is I'm actually doing the whole video, the whole story as one video, but I'm also uploading them as separate pieces so that they appear sort of in the run-up to, and I think that worked. I mean, I did 8 parts of the first chapter and uploaded them over an 8-day period, and then on the 9th day it was the full story from start to finish. And I think that's how I'm going to do it from now on, to try and keep things interesting. Then people have got the option, if they want to watch individual parts sort of one at a time, or they want to watch the entire thing, then they've got the option to do that. I think that's how I'm going to try and do it from now on. You know, be a bit more flexible, shall we say. Obviously, being Tales from the Caravan, the initial idea keeps coming. But as I've said before, definitely find a way of getting Cleo and Trajan involved. I think that's important that they are. And of course, Maximus has kind of become the lead character, and the reason is it's about his journey. He's still a rogue, and he still has his sort of dark, mean streak, but he's much more of an anti-hero now. He's moved from being a pure villain. Put it this way though, Cleo still despises it. She's still that's the thing, Gwyn. I want to give people that option. If they want to watch both, they've got that option. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, I will have to check out your Pentiment videos, Rose. I haven't fully got round to watching them. I do apologise. Yeah, I thought he'd be a better main character, because it's basically the story of him searching for the crown of the Tyrant King still. That still plays a big role in the story. But we've moved away from, because although I'm trying to make it a collaboration with other people, the problem is it's finding other people who want to help. I mean, obviously Cleo and Trajan and Rose, I know you'd still be happy to do perform Iris and Rosea. I would say probably more Iris would fit in to the story, to be honest. But Rosea can always appear. You know, that's perfectly Act 3. Wow. Um, sorry, that sounded... Matthew. Awful person you are, Matthew. Awful person. But you know, there's so much potential. There's so much potential, and you know, I leave the door open to anyone who wants to take part. You know, there's no limitation. You know, if people want to take part as multiple characters, they can do that. You know, it's not exclusive. You know, it's not that you do it once and you can't do it again. By all means, you know, the more times you take part, the more it kind of helps me, because it helps me sort of build that rapport with other content creators, and sort of helps others to see how it all fits together. You know, that's the thing. Exactly, Gwyn. Yeah, that's what it's always been about for me, allowing participants to be themselves and bring their own creation. Everything I provide is a suggestion. You know, I don't force anyone to be anything. I don't. I give them the options. For example, my current information has a whole list of character types, and people know that those options are there, so they can be whatever they want to be from those character lists. Okay, so a character list might not include something that they actually want to be, but all they have to do is just say, you know, can I be this? And I'll write it. That's the beauty of it. I will. Oh, thank you, Gwyn. I really do I genuinely appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. I think that would be fun to have Iris and Rosea back together. But of course, there's always elements to find ways of working them into the story. I think the problem I'm having at the moment is encouraging people to be involved. You know, I'm very open about what my idea is about. I don't hide anything. You know, I think if you hide something from people, that makes it much more difficult. But if you are open from the word go, I think it does make it easier for everyone, because then they know what's going on. You don't paint it as a picture of something it isn't. And if that makes sense, you know, don't talk about it, but hide it from its true nature, if that makes sense. I'm very keen about honesty and being open, and that sort of thing, because what's the point in pulling the wool over people's eyes and being deceptive? It does no one any good. Well, that's... actually... Well, you have a point there, Gwyn. But I will say, Rose, that I've never been bothered by accents. I've never been bothered by. I do accents for my characters because I've already got in mind what they sound like. I mean, you know, I've never been bothered by how characters sound. I remember we talked about that, and you said you were having work done. Yeah, but no, I was glad to have you on board for that. Your accent is perfect, Gwyn, and the fact that you actually brought in some, the fact that you actually included some Afrikaans in your, in part of your portrayal of Cleo in one of the episodes, I thought was absolutely perfect. Because the thing is, with my world, anything goes. There's no rules. There's no rules. There's no regulations. It's pure fantasy. You could have bits of sci-fi thrown in, hence the steampunk. You could have, you know, it's everywhere and nowhere, and that's the beauty of it. It has its location. Yes, the monarchy, the desert realm, the forest realm, the plagued realm, which we haven't visited yet, and the kingdom of Avalon. Well, we have visited the plague realm, but in my unpublished novel, which I keep talking about. And if you'd like a copy, let me know, and I'll send it over to read. But the second novel I plan to write, set in my world, will take place in Avalon and the city of Lioness. So be prepared for that, because I'm really excited about the direction I want to take that story. It'll be the second of the Maximite Guild books. And yes, Maximus does play a role in that, so he will be causing trouble in Avalon very soon. So, and well, let me put it this way. Your accent, again, your accent has never been. Of course, I'll send it over. Yeah, I'll send it over. Yeah, I mean, it's 818 pages, 57 chapters, 818 pages long. And it's yeah, it's called the Maximite Guild, and it takes you into a whole new location that's never been visited before, and that's the point of the character. He's not even the lead character though, and it's told in the first person. It's not told in the third person at all. It's actually told as if you're being told the story directly by the lead character. It's how I wanted to write it. I didn't want it to be. I kind of wanted it to be so that you feel immersed in the story. I'll send it over a copy once I've finished this live stream. I'll send you a copy too, Rose, if you'd like to read it. I'd love to get some feedback. But yeah, the novel has allowed me to visit a new realm that I've never actually mentioned before, but always wanted to find a way of introducing it. So, and new characters as well, brand new characters. I mean, Rafik appears in it. Of course. Google Drive. Share, there we go. There, I've sent it over to Discord, so you're both. Iris, no, I didn't include a lot of characters because I didn't want it to be. I didn't want to include certain characters because I wanted to see how this would be received first. But Iris would definitely appear in the second novel. Because I tried not to include characters that weren't actually created by me directly, because I didn't know how content creators would react. I mean, Cleo, I think Cleo and Trajan get name dropped at least, I think. Don't quote me on that. I went through. Oh, he appears in the novel. He definitely, Lord Volkov definitely appears in the novel. He not for very long, but you know, he plays a key role in the novel. But there's a lot of new concepts that I've never been able to visit in the YouTube project because I wouldn't know how to sort of. I think the term is execute it in creation video. Well, I am going to be seeing your question there about what did he have to endure to turn out like that. I am going to be doing I am looking at doing some short stories in the first person where certain characters tell their stories, and I think one of them will be Lord Volkov telling his story. So, because I think I prefer writing in the first person to the third person. It feels easier. It feels more personal. I don't know why I'm typing that. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. She will appear in the second novel then. I think I have a way of including her, possibly as a in a diplomatic role, but travelling with Maximus. So that could lead to some very interesting ideas. Okay, I'll make that happen. I will make that happen. But I think I definitely think that there needs to be some origin stories, and Volkov definitely needs to be one to be investigated because he is one of the most ancient characters in the project. So I think he definitely needs to be. Because I did do an origin story video behind him, sort of like a bio, but I don't know, it doesn't feel personal. It doesn't feel like, you know, a lot of the information that I created for it could be speculative. Whereas if it's Lord Volkov telling the story himself, he is speaking truthfully from personal experience rather than what information has been gleaned from other sources, which is what the bio video I did sort of represents, the sort of speculation about him. But I think if I do a short story of him, or I do another novel and simply call it Volkov, and we have and we work with the origin story that way. So instead of it being a short story, we can really focus on the character. What do you think of that? You know, sort of. But we'll see, because I've got loads of ideas that I want to work with, and I think I could possibly work on a couple of ideas. But maybe if I do that, maybe I could include Iris in the Volkov novel. You know, I could find a way of including Iris in the Volkov novel as well. That would be interesting. There's definitely potential. There's huge potential. But I think you'll both enjoy the novel because it's original. It's very different, and there's a lot of. I try and throw in a lot of humour. There's a lot of sort of. So I think there's going to be a lot of good things on the way this year. Definitely. What's that? Oh, okay, it's okay. Just my computer was just flashing something up on my other screen, and I just wondered what it was, but it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, so obviously we got Tales from the Caravan, the novel ideas, you know, some other content ideas I'm working through. So it's all go, and I think I want to take it. I'd love to take it to the next level. I really would. I honestly think that there's a lot of potential that deserves to be investigated and expanded upon. I mean, I will just. I mean, I know I showed this earlier, but I enjoy this. I enjoy. This is what I love about my hobby. I can actually share a few images. I'm just gonna resize the chat box as well. So let's go to locations, and I can still see the chat. Well, this is it. I have thought about doing ebooks, but I think what I'd like to do first is get some feedback. You know, get a few people reading and seeing what they think, because there might be some things I need to change or amend or make better or cut completely. And I think the more friends that I can get to read it, or I can ask to read it, helps me to know what I can do to make it better. You know, let's put it that way. Never say never. Never say never, because it's my dream to sort of achieve that. So at the moment, excuse me. At the moment, I'm not sort of approaching that idea at the moment, but absolutely, please do. But I can already give you an idea of where the next book will be going. So this is just an anonymous city, but welcome to Lioness, the Kingdom of Lioness, the city of Lioness in the Kingdom of Avalon. So this is what I'll be working with as for descriptions. But as you can see, it's very much a very that would be absolutely perfect. Thank you, Gwyn. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, that would be a big help. Thank you. But yes, this is representative of the city of Lioness in the Kingdom of Avalon. So very sort of, yeah, I mean, I took a lot of influence from sort of medieval and sort of, because obviously in the characters section, did I put them in here? Yeah, we've got the Riders of Avalon, who will play. I mean, that's not very good. The Riders of Avalon, who, these are just very rough imagery, but there's some better ones. There are some definite better ones, but they're the sort of military of Avalon, the protectors. And of course they're very much based on Arthurian legend. Avalon itself is of course based on Arthurian legend, which is very important, because I haven't exactly decided whether or not there'd be a sort of Knights of the Round Table element to it. I might consider finding a way of having that very loosely set in place without making it overly obvious. I think that would be, yeah, I mean, you know, I've got Avalon listed in the lands. No, I haven't got Avalon. No, I haven't got Avalon. I've got the Plague Lands. I guess the wilderness would sort of reflect Avalon, in a way. You know, that's very much sort of how I would see Avalon. Rolling hills, green, you know, very green, sort of perhaps mountainous as well, you know, sort of, and then there's sort of the more arid, not arid, but drier areas, you know, sort of bit misty, things like that. So I'll probably rename these ones where it says Wilderness as Avalon, to be honest with you, because I mean, we've got the Plague Lands the strange realm of the plague lands. Yeah, that's very much sort of what I think I'm gonna do, you know. But I'm gonna try and sort of keep the spirit of the Arthurian legend alive in it. You know, I mean, we've already got the sort of the house of. Did I do one in the banners? Decorations, banners. What's that doing in there? That should be in there. There we go. Yeah, I did. So I did a Pendragon banner for the story. So it is going to be sort of Pendragon. Oh, there's the other one I did. That's the other version I did, and that's the version I'm thinking of going with. That House Pendragon. Ah, yes. That is covered in the novel. That is actually covered in the novel because it's it is a very tragic tale. I mean, that's pretty much the Plague Lands, because the other place that you'll find in the novel that's not actually mentioned anywhere in the story. This is the first time it's ever mentioned. Is the Frosthelm Mountains. Now I work with these images to try and give the best description as possible. By creating these images, I'm able to actually. It gets difficult for me to sometimes visualise certain ideas, and by actually having them visualised on the screen, it actually makes it a lot easier for me to describe and work with. For example, there's also another place we've never visited before, River End, which is a coastal village sort of at the very north of the now you'll notice there's a lot of wires and modern stuff here in these images, but I don't worry about that, because these aren't images that are all going to be used as backdrops. They're sort of memory aids for me to get the initial sort of idea of what I'm working with. It's the same with the Northridge Outpost, which also features in the novel. I'm kind of giving little snippets without giving too much away, because it's how they fit in that's important. You know, it's not until later on that you start to understand how it all fits together. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, to be honest. I think whatever works best for the creator is the way you wanna proceed, shall we say. For example, for caves, I actually used real photographs that I took on holiday in Wales last year, so some of them are a bit fuzzy and a bit bright because they have bright lights in there, but you know, it's how I envision some of the caves that appear in the story, so it makes, you know, for me it's all sort of inspired by real locations, places I've been. I mean, these caves at the bottom here, they're all fictional creations. They're not photos by me, but you know, it's how I do things. You know, it's how I build my world. I take experiences from my travels and ideas, and sometimes if I have to create them, I create them myself. But you know, it's like all the as I said, it's like all the characters that I have. You know. And of course, down here we've got because I've got other images of Cleo as well. Yeah, but these are the current images of Cleo that I have. I think it's that one I use the most, to be honest. Funnily enough, Gwyn, the Icelands are kind of inspired by Skyrim. I did take... Sorry, I'm just resizing my camera so I can see myself again. They are inspired by Skyrim. A lot of the Frosthelm mountains and the pathways leading up to them are inspired by. As regarding dreams, I don't actually test out scenes in my dreams. They happen first in my dreams. There's a lot of ideas that come from my sleep, if I remember them, of course. But there was a lot of oh, Gwyn, you're no, she's gorgeous, but you know, you're beautiful too, and I mean that as a friend. You know, you are, yeah. But no, you bring a lot. She's only beautiful because of you. You know, she's without you, she has no voice, she has no warmth, she has no humanity, she has no compassion, she has no empathy, she has no, you know, she's just a 2D character, and you know, it takes someone really special to bring such a character to life. And I say this to anyone, you know, that has their own unique characters. I genuinely mean this, and I say the same to you as well, Rose, in relation to Iris and Rosea and all the other characters you voiced. It takes someone truly special to actually give a character reality. It takes someone with a lot of I'm trying to think how to word this without it sounding weird. It takes someone with a special energy to bring a character to life and actually give them their core, their heart, their soul, their spirit. and that's what I love about collaborating with the ASMR community and everyone that I come to know as friends, because well, I always take into account my characters and how I want them to be. That's interesting. That's interesting. As I say, my dreams do kind of inspire me. But yeah, I just, I honestly feel blessed to have those who collaborate with me. You, Gwyn, you, Rose, Miss Sheik, others who've joined me on my journey. It really does mean a lot to me. It really does, because I seriously can't do this world alone. I really seriously can't build this world alone. I can write the stories, but it takes genuinely special friends to help bring it to life. Friends who I know and trust, who I know will always thank you. Seriously, thank you. It really does mean a lot to me. It really does. And I just don't think I would have got this far, the 4 years without so many amazing people. It really does make a huge difference, and I'm so grateful to everyone that's given me the opportunity to invite them into my world and give, because I've encountered content creators who are very protective of what they create, and they are very protective of how people approach their content, if they collaborate. But that's not me. I've always wanted to encourage the best from people. I know I'm always thinking of others as well. I'm always thinking of everyone, and even if I'm quiet, which I tend to be a lot these days, and I apologise for that. I should be more active. It's that's on me. But I just, I just want people to enjoy themselves. I just want people to find their creative energy and go with it. I have no... And the thing is, because I've done that, I have never, ever once told anyone to change anything. I have never found reason to turn around to someone and say, I don't like it, do it again. Because all I've done is I've said, here's the script, here's the notes. Whatever you want to do is fine by me. However you want to approach it, however you want to create it, fine by me. And not once on my journey have I ever been disappointed by it. It's worked every time. And that means so much to me, that people, even if they've only just have been part of my world once, they've nailed it and really they really have captured the reality of my world beautifully. And the more I sort of share, the more I hope I will find more people to help me, no matter what capacity they come in, because it really genuinely means so much when people do want to be involved and they want to take part and discover themselves. Because that's the thing, I like to think it's also a form of self-discovery. You learn so much about yourself through working with others, and there are days when I feel like I'm, as I've said earlier, I feel ignored and forgotten, and that's not the close friends, because I know, but the wider community, that's the thing, it's the wider community. And yeah, I mean, something you said earlier, Gwyn, is true. It just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big channel, and I don't want to be a big channel. I just want to be a channel that shares what they love, shares what they're, who wants to create and wants everyone to be involved. Whether they're, been creating content for decades, or if they've they're brand new to it. Everyone should have a chance to be involved, and that's what I want. That is exactly what I want from this. I don't want to leave anyone out. It's all about being inclusive. It's all about being a community, and I kind of feel that in the last year or so there's been, on a wider scale, a fall away from the community aspect. It all feels, a lot of people are doing the same thing. They're all sort of copying each other for content, and my subscriber feed has felt overwhelmed with repeats of similar ideas from different people, and I'm a storyteller. I will always be a storyteller, because that's what I enjoy. I will always advocate originality and originality, creativity, imagination. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's a lack of imagination, because there isn't. But at the same time, I think people have become, and this is just me talking, people have become comfortable, shall we say. They've become comfortable in what they do. It's, and I don't call myself a groundbreaker or a mould breaker or anything like that, or a maverick. I did try to toy once, call myself Maverick ASMR, but in the end I'm just me. I'm just Matt. I can't be anyone else, and I don't want to be anyone else. I don't want to follow Yeah, I don't want to follow the same path. I don't want to. There just seems to be so much pressure these days to try and be part of. Exactly, exactly, and seriously, you know, I I don't reach out to people. I don't message people because I don't feel comfortable doing it. I prefer people to message me. I feel more comfortable. I feel safer. I Yeah, yeah, I agree with you there, Rose. Um, sorry. Uh, yeah, I mean, I thought your video was very good. I enjoyed it immensely. Your your holiday video where you um, did the colouring in and did the affirmations. I thought yours was very good. And I'm serious about that. I genuinely am. It's just when you see so many cranial nerve exams or mouth sounds or hand movements and or ear cleaning role plays. I'm not asking people to step out of their comfort zones. No, I mean, if I were, I'd be messaging them left, right, and centre. But I want people to approach me. That's how I've always been. If people approach me, then the ball is in their court, and they have the yes or no aspect. You know, it's therefore their decision. You know, it's not me saying, "Hey, do you want to do this?" You know, I've got this going. You know, and they have full choice and full. And if they say no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I've tried approaching content creators, and for me, it didn't work. It didn't feel right. I felt really anxious and uncomfortable doing it. And the thing is, if they choose not to message me, then fine. That's their. But I know there's people out there who would want to be involved, and it's just it's finding the right people and making sure they. You know, I mean, I'm sure they get bored of hearing me talk about my idea, but at the same time, if I don't, and I just stop, what then? What then? Because I just don't want it to fall by the wayside, because I've put so much hard work, so much creativity, so much imagination. I mean, let's see, June 2020 I started the entire project, so it's been over 4.5 years. Now, as of sort of now, but at the same time, sometimes I do wonder why I do it, and then at the same time, I remember that I do it because I love it, and I don't want to give it up. I don't want to stop. I want to. you know, it's a part of me as much as I'm a part of it now. It's some would call it a passion project, but for me it's just me living a dream. You know, telling a story, creating characters, bringing the world to life, and that's all I ever wanted to do as a teenager. I always wanted to create stories and have them shared. Yeah, this is it. There's been a lot of, and video games. That's the other thing I've noticed. A lot of people. Trust me, I am not giving up. I am not giving up. I'm definitely not giving up. But yeah, you're right. It's the latest movie, TV show, stream. You know, whatever's happening in the world, they jump on that bandwagon. You know, TV, yeah. Sometimes I think why do I compete? And then I think, but I'm not competing. I'm not competing because if I were competing, I'd be doing the same thing. I'm not doing the same thing. That's the secret. I'm doing my own thing and standing out amongst the crowd. I mean, you know, it's exactly. There were so many different Barbie videos last year. You know, as I say, I've never thought of myself as competitive, and I don't try to be competitive. I'm a dreamer. That's the best way I can think of myself. Someone who just wants to, sort of bring a dream to life. It's frustrating in a way, but at the same time, it feels like a good challenge. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm not trying to sort of be anything that I'm not, as you know. Thank you, Gwyn. Yeah, you know, it feels harder when there are people that stand taller, you know. I mean, I could shout, I could scream, I could demand that people look at me and watch myself, but I'm not. I say let them discover me on their own. Let them discover my dreams on their own. You know, let them find me, because I think it's so much better when you're not shouting amongst all the other loud voices. You know, sometimes people don't want the loudness of attention. They just want to find someone who just gives them something to escape with, some escapism. But you know, an escape from reality, as it were. And that's what I want to offer. That escape. That, you know, something that gives them an idea of what's going on, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if what I've just said made sense. But you know, it's yeah. I don't really get invited to many. I don't really get invited to many collaborations, and that's the thing. You know, last big collaboration I did was White Rabbits with that Alien I did, but you know, I've not done any major. I did that one for Miss Chic, and did I have I collaborated with you, Rose? I think I have. It's getting late. Excuse me. But you know, I've never collaborated with Shani. I've never collaborated with anyone really big. I collaborated with Jodie Marie many years ago before she got big, before her channel got big. I don't know. Yeah, to be honest, I think it's nearly 9 o'clock here, and I've been going nearly 4 hours. So I think I'm going to wrap it up anyway. I will keep the inner light burning bright, but as I say, it's now nearly 9 o'clock, and I'm nearly at the 4 hour mark. So I think that's a good time to wrap it up. Well, thank you, Rose and Wynne, for joining me, and also to everyone else who's been with me. I always appreciate your presence. You know, it's a blessing and a boon, as they say. And I will see you next time. Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, so I will see you next time, and thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Gwyn. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your day, Rose. I know it's you're about 12 hours ahead of me, but if you need me, you know where to find me. Discord, Blue Sky, Instagram. If you follow me on Facebook, I'm on Facebook. But yeah, I'm on social media, TikTok as well, so there's plenty of places to contact me. So from me, thank you for joining me for these last 4 hours or so, and I'll see you next time.